Oh boy, James Harden, you done fucked up. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my office, portable office. Now, if you guys haven't heard, James Harden, he's been catching a lot of flack for wearing a mask that represents basically support for the police, and it's honestly pretty retarded. But I saw this and I was like, wow, man, I wonder what the rage mob is gonna do. I wonder if they're gonna make him apologize. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to cover this. So let's get into this article from ESPN. Now, keep in mind, I'm not really, even though I am black, I'm not really a big basketball fan. Believe it or not, I'm more into football, UFC. Back in the day, it was wrestling until I found out it was fake. But I'm just mostly football and UFC. I don't really care for basketball. I don't know. I guess it's because when you're black, like, you're kind of expected to watch basketball, play basketball. So I kind of just naturally grew away from it because like everyone's doing it. So it's like it wasn't really nothing unique or special to me. So I mean, it's kind of like today. Anyways, anywhoosies, let's get into this article from ESPN. So the Houston Rockets guard James Harden said that he did not intend to make a political statement by wearing a thin blue line mask Thursday, and that he was unaware of what the mask represented. Now, there's another article I'm going to read. It's from CNN. Sadly, I have to kind of read CNN to get both sides of everything. Even though they're not really credible, they offer a little bit more insight. But I mean, they're still trash. But yeah. The thin blue line, the American flag, which I'm gonna probably show like an image somewhere over yonder of what Harden was wearing. But the thin blue line, the American flag with the blue line, as one of the stripes, shows support for law enforcement. That flag, as well as the Punisher skull that was on Harden's mask, are sometimes seen as symbols that are against the Black Lives Matter movement. How is a fucking mask a symbol that is sometimes seen as being against Black Lives Matter? How? Like, you're just showing support for police. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look. That's just. Anyways, photographs of Harden wearing a mask, a neck garter pulled over his face, published by the Rockets. Excuse me, and the NBA's social media accounts provoked strong reactions from people on both sides of the issue. And I quote, "Honestly, I wasn't trying to make a political statement," Harden said before the Rockets practice Friday. "I honestly wore it just because it covered my whole face and beard. It's pretty simple." Okay, so he thought, it was just like another mask. Like, what the? But again, I mean, it's the whole symbolism of it, so I can kind of see. But even if Harden knew, what that symbol was, like, why do you guys care? Like, why do you give a fuck? Like, if the man wants to support police, let him support police. If he doesn't, then reading on. Thursday was Harden's first day practicing with the Rockets at the NBA's Walt Disney World campus after arriving 5 days after the team's flight. Harden said that he was considering ways that he could voice his support for the Black Lives Matter movement during the season's restart, including whether he would have a social justice message on the back of his jersey. He reiterated that on Friday. Excuse me. "I'm in the process of doing that right now," Harden said. In regards of police, Harden said, "There's people who do their job at a high level and BS people in every profession." Okay, just like everyone has been saying, there are good cops and bad cops. Think about it. What was the last actual news presentation that you saw where they actually gave credit to a police? Don't worry, I'll wait. Okay, that's what I thought. But you hear a lot of bad cops in police. I mean, you hear a lot of bad cops in the news because they show think about it. Like, actually sit there and think about it. They show all that bullshit of police brutality. Yet they never show you the good side of police. The majority of what police are doing, the actual good cops. Oh boy, I don't know, man. I really don't know. All right, let's see. Where was I? Okay. On Thursday, Harden expressed pride about Houston's reaction to the death of George Floyd at the hands of the of the Minneapolis police. I can't read today. Wow. I need my coffee. Which led to protests throughout the world. Floyd's funeral was in Houston, the city where he... See, I can't fucking read. Floyd's funeral was in Houston, the city where Harden grew up. Okay, so... And that's the thing, too, man, about George Floyd's funeral. I mean, again, I don't support what happened to him. You know, I hope that the cop that did it to him basically goes to jail for the rest of his life. But the thing is, this whole time, the media, the CDC saying you can't have these large gatherings. You have to social distance, but everyone came out to freaking George Floyd's funeral. Think of all the people that lost loved ones during this COVID pandemic. They couldn't even get to see like their family members for like the last moments of their lives. And they can't even have a funeral to bury them. But yet, George Floyd, a man who no one knew about, only because he was killed by police that was white, had what? He had like what, 2 or 3 funerals? I read that he had more than Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm thinking, holy shit, are you serious? This guy had more funerals than King himself. Wow. So think about that, man. Like, that's interesting because all these people who lost loved ones during this pandemic can't even get a funeral, but yet everyone and their mother came out for George Floyd's funeral. Yeah, that's just wow. That is pretty crazy. All right. So let's see. The way the city just like rallied, it was amazing. Harden said Thursday. I think the world saw it, and how many people could come together so close. Obviously, it was for a tragic reason. But the marching and everything we're standing for is very powerful. Let me read that again. The way the city just rallied, it was amazing, Harden said Thursday. I think the world saw it and how many people could come together so close. Obviously, it was for a tragic reason, but the marching and everything we're standing for is just very powerful. What are y'all standing for? I don't like, again, if someone is out there who can educate me on this, what do Black Lives Matter stand for? Because they're a Marxist movement. It says that in their statement. They're trying to break up the nuclear family and basically, you know, the patriarchy and all that, you know, take down the patriarchy and all that bullshit. Like, they're against capitalism. Like, what do you my thing is, everyone rallied around George Floyd's death, but again, that was only because of the circumstance. I've seen so many videos of people in Chicago and Baltimore and Minneapolis, like getting black on black crime, getting their brains blown out, and I don't see anyone marching for them. Like, that's the thing. If Black Lives Matter was consistent with the movement, if they looked at both sides and say, okay, police brutality is an issue, black on black crime is a much bigger issue, let's address everything. But no, they sit there and these fucking goblins and trolls only come out from under the fucking bridge when something happens to a black person by a white person. Like, that's why I can't get behind that shit. If you're gonna have a movement, have it be consistent. And again, I think I talked about this with Don Lemon and Terry Crews about how, you know, Don Lemon said, you know, Black Lives Matter is about police brutality. I thought it was about Black Lives Matter. I thought in every case, no matter what it was, Black Lives Matter should matter because Black Lives Matter, right? So you're telling me Black Lives Matter doesn't matter when a Hispanic kills a black, when a black kills a black, when an Indian kills a black, when a Native American kills a black. You're telling me all their lives don't matter. So Do Black Lives Matter? Fucking stupid, man. Oh my god. Oh god, man. I just can't get behind that movement. It's just fickle bitches, man. But anyways, after finishing that virtual news conference, Harden put on the thin blue line mask, unaware what it represented. He said, "I thought it was something to cover my whole beard. I thought it looked cool. That was it." Okay, let's see. Is there anything else? No. Wow. So again, I wonder what they're gonna do, man. I wonder if they're gonna make James Harden. I wonder if they're gonna make James Harden like actually apologize for wearing that, because I mean, he says he didn't know what it meant, and I actually saw like a couple of like independent what would you call it, like news, independent like sports broadcasts saying that they themselves didn't even know what that mask represented. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you guys are, and these guys look like they're like 20, 30 years old. Well, excuse me, 28 to like 38 years old. Like, these guys look old. Like, how do you guys not know what that mask represents? Like, see, and that's the real disconnect in this country, because even I know what that mask represents. I knew what that mask represents when I was in middle school. You got grown adults saying they didn't even know what Harden's mask represented. Like, that shows like the lack of patriotism in this country, because there's one for police, which is the blue one. There's one for the firefighters, which is the red one. There's one for, I think, is border patrol, which is the green one. There's one for dispatchers, which is, I believe, the gray one. There's one for nurses. The one for nurses, I'm not sure of, but I know there's like one for, I know there's like one for yellow. I don't know if that's nurses. I could be wrong, but I know what all these symbols mean, because I actually take the time to actually see and know like what all these, like, you know, symbols and these kind of different, these kind of what's the word I'm looking for? These kind of iterations of the American flag means. Because initially I saw one that was like black and white. I was like, oh, yo, that's cool. Like, I really like that style. Like, I really want to, you know, maybe kind of like get that as a tattoo, because like it was like black, white, and gray or something. And then like because it was in Google Images, and I scroll down and it shows like the blue one and the red one, and I'm like, oh, they have like more. I was like, okay, that's real cool. I clicked on it. I was like, I started reading about it, and I was like, oh, this one is about, you know, cops. I didn't even know they had one for that. Oh, this red one was for firefighters. I didn't know they had one, you know, for that either. And I went through that whole rabbit hole of learning, just because I liked, you know, a different iteration of the American flag. But see, motherfuckers, they don't take the time to actually learn shit anymore. And these are the same people who sit up there and call Donald Trump a moron. I mean, which in some cases, I don't agree with everything he does or says. But these are the same people that sit up there and call the president a moron, and yet they don't even know what James Harden mask even means. Like, anyways. Last article, guys, then I'm out here. Alright, this one was from CNN. This one, I mean, it gives a little bit more context to the matter, because there were some rappers and like people in the industry who commented on James Harden's mask. So let's see. I'm not gonna read this whole thing because I don't really like to be on CNN's website this long. Let's see, where can I find it? Hold on here. I mean, I'm gonna link all this in the comments. So if you guys want to read this for yourself, then by all means, feel free. Okay. It says, earlier on Friday, singer-songwriter Trey Songz retweeted the NBA's photo saying, "This is certified clown shit. I'll say it for anyone who's scared to." But rapper Young Thug defended Harden on Twitter, saying, "Just so you know, James Harden is my brother. My brother." This motherfucker spelled brother B-R-A-D-A. Wow. I mean, I know what he was going for, but oh god. By the way, he don't have internet, so he obviously don't know. Motherfuckers can't even type. by the way, he doesn't have internet, so obviously he doesn't know what's right or wrong. If he posted something that's against us, what the fuck? This motherfucker said, Young Thug, hold on, man. This fucking beady-eyed Lil Wayne wannabe said he obviously didn't know what's right or wrong if he posted something that's against us. Like, I'm literally, like, this is a scratch my head moment. That makes no fucking sense. Right or wrong? So, like, nothing is that black or white. That's my thing. How is it right to support cops? Well, I mean, how is it wrong to support cops? Even if my stance is, okay, if you want to feel as though Black Lives Matter, you can say Black Lives Matter and be for police. You know, you can advocate for, you know, better funding, better training, all that stuff, but also say Black Lives Matter, because those two, you know, they should correlate, because obviously this whole movement is about police brutality. So when you guys want to educate the police, when you guys want to have more funding, better training for police, when you guys want to back the police so they can stop brutalizing your ass, I literally don't understand this. I don't understand this. How Young Thug said, okay, police are. Let me read this shit again, because I don't want to misquote anything he said. I mean, basically, hyper quoting it, he said, police are against us. Bruh. Bruh. This is the dumbest. Like, how could, that's my thing. How can these motherfuckers be so rich and yet so stupid? So you're telling me police are against us, bruh? Again, there are police who are bad as shit. Oop. That's what I'm calling me. There are police out there who are bad as shit, who are horrible pieces of shit. But there are also good cops in this world. So you're telling me that the police are against us, even though they kill more white people per capita on average. Like, name me one incident where a black person was in trouble and called the police and they never responded. Like, just, if there was an article saying that, you know, a black person basically dialed 911 and the police said basically, fuck you, you're on your own. Like, show me that article. I would really like to see that article, because again, like, it's so frustrating because people just see the bad side of cops because that's all the media shows you. Like, that's it. Police aren't against black people. Now, yeah, back in the 60s, a lot of fuck shit went down. But over time, as more people became more diverse and inclusive and more understanding of other races, I don't see how police are against us. When basically, if you look at it, all these unjustified shootings and everything, a majority of them are justified. Like, but see, most people, they don't actually read into that. They just see a headline saying white cop killed black person. I can pull up so many articles right now that said that exact same title, but that's all they see. Like, they never actually do their own research, and that's really sad, man. Like, nowadays we have access to so much information, so much data, we have all that, and yet motherfuckers are just as stupid as we were in the caveman days. I mean, we do have people still believing that the earth is flat. So, hey, I don't know, but again, it's going to be interesting to see what they do to James Harden, because this is incredible. This is incredible. Wait, how doesn't James Harden even have internet? That's pretty strange. I mean, I don't blame him for not having internet, but again, he's much older than me, and I found. I mean, let's see. Hold on, how old is James Harden? Because I don't know if we're around the same age. I don't think we're around the same age. Hold on. Because again, I found all that information out when I was in middle school. Okay, he's 30. Now I'm only 26. So we're kind of close. I don't know how he never knew about those symbols. I mean, and he doesn't have internet, so he doesn't have a smartphone or anything? Wait, he doesn't have internet, but does he have a Twitter or something? Anyways, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to James Harden. I don't know if they're gonna have to make him apologize or what, but look, if you want to stand with police, then stand with police. But if you don't and don't have a clear understanding of why, then please just get the fuck out of here. Because again, this whole thing about Black Lives Matter is fickle, because they want to defund the cops, but when shit hits the fan, they want to call the police. It's just the most idiotic thing in the world. Craig. I don't know, guys, but I'm getting out of here, man. This is already long enough, so it's gonna be real interesting to see what happens to James Harden. But wow, man. I mean, as far as my stance, I still support police, even though, yes, again, there are good ones and there are bad ones, but the majority of them are good, and the majority of them have families. They just want to do their job, get paid, go back home to their families. Like, that's it. They just want to keep the world safe. And my thing is, okay, Black Lives Matter. Last thing, if the police are so bad, and if the white man is so racist, why do you guys start a whole fucking movement saying that you want to be respected and want to be acknowledged and want to be seen and want to be heard and all that bullshit? My thing is, okay, if the white man is so racist and evil, and if the cops are so racist and evil, why would you think that starting a movement advocating for respect and acknowledgement to racists would garnish you any praise? Like, why would that shit? Doesn't make sense. Why would you come up to racists and say, basically, respect me, tear down statues, and hold your fists up in the air? Like, a real racist will sit there and laugh at you and say, look at those dumb monkeys. Like, that shit is so crazy. If the white man is so racist and evil, yet you want the white man to respect and acknowledge you, but in the way that you're doing that is by tearing down shit and burning shit. That's crazy, man. That's so fucking crazy. And again, I mean, I listen to both sides. I listen to both sides so I can get the full picture. People have been saying that they're doing all this shit because with that whole thing with Colin Kaepernick, and that people made a big fuss about that. First of all, that motherfucker did that shit on his job. He was paid to do that. Like, how many times has Colin Kaepernick been in Congress, been on the steps of Washington kneeling? Show me one picture. Anyways, they were saying basically, they're tired of being ignored and whatnot. So your idea of being heard and being seen is to make a ruckus and cause riots and burn shit. And y'all think doing that shit will get you respect and acknowledgement from throwing a temper tantrum? Oh my god, that is funny, man. Funny, fickle. Like, I'm telling you, man, a bunch of clowns, man. But I'm getting out of here, guys. I am getting out of here. Take care. Bye bye. Back to blue.